We looked at two very core IoT node modules, Cylon and Johnny 5. Now let's look at a few other modules that will surely make your life easier while you're working on IoT projects. Here's a short list of some other modules that I think you might find useful, because I have. The first four modules are core modules to Node.js. That means that you can require them in your code without having to npm install them. They attempt to cover the most fundamental tasks that might be common to Node developers. The rest of these modules are third-party modules, so to use them, you need to npm install them. Remember to add --save to have npm add the module to your package.json file, effectively calling that module an official dependency of your application. The request module is not a core module, but it's a very popular one. It's based on the HTTP core module, and it makes a lot of things that you can do with HTTP a whole lot easier. So look into request, look at some of the major methods for it, and figure out what that's going to do to make your life easier. Express is a simple website framework. This is the backend to a lot of Node.js websites today. Express is really simple. They call it the unopinionated framework, and you can use it to create some simple routes, whether you're serving pages for humans to look at from your device or serving an API for other components or modules or devices to look at. Socket.io is for when you want to get away from the HTTP request response cycle and the HTTP protocol overall, and you want to use the lighter, faster, smaller WebSocket protocol that's built into the W3C standard for the web stack. Socket.io is really exciting because it's really fast and you can get all of these different devices talking to each other with hardly any envelope size at all. The Azure module is going to give you access to the entirety of Azure as a cloud backend. So Azure is gigantic. There's a lot of stuff to it, a lot of different features that you can take advantage of, and you can simply require Azure to get access to all of those. By the way, there's oftentimes you don't need access to the entirety of Azure, and so Azure, the module is broken down into various submodules, and you can bring in just those focused modules. So for instance, if all you need to do is access storage in the cloud, save some files up there and retrieve some files, then you can include the Azure-storage module as opposed to the entire Azure module. Blue Sky module is one that I've seen lately that wraps the Azure Storage API and gives you a really good streaming file access to Azure Storage. It makes it work much more like Node's FS Core file system module. Blino is a module for accessing Bluetooth Low Energy on your device, so you can use Blino on the Intel Edison to access the BLE that's built right into that chip. And then there's a module by Cylon called the Cylon API HTTP. This is what you're going to use if you want to create an HTTP API for your device. Keep in mind that HTTP is just one of the three protocols that Cylon supports for its APIs. You can also use MQTT and Socket.io.